Hello, combat. Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. In this video, we're going to be looking at 10 decks that have got Infinite Conquest this week. I said last month that I would look at Conquest decks in the last week of the month instead of normal best decks of the week. And I wanted to do it early so people have the weekend to have a look at these decks if they want to and try the best in the Conquest. And as you can see, I've got Arishem up here because with Arishem's world right now, we're just living in it, right? So there is a lot of Arishem decks in it, and there's also decks that have people have won Infinite Conquest with and said have performed well into Arishem. So we'll start with them decks and we'll show you some Arishem decks. I've tried to find a wide range of different versions of the decks so that you can see. Honestly, we'll talk about this card straight up first. I think this is a card that you should get. If you're thinking about it and you can get it, you can get it. That being said, don't risk going for it if you don't have the 4 keys, because it's just stupid. Anyone going for a card without 4 keys, it's just crazy. Just don't do it, right? Just wait. If you get 4 keys, you get 4 keys, it's fine. Honestly, the card is so fun. It's just made the game feel a little fresh, because you don't know what you're playing against, right? I've played a lot of Snap. I've been playing it for nearly 2 years now. And I have a good idea. Like, once you've seen 1 or 2 cards, you have a very good idea, right? As most people do that play the game a lot right now. You have a good idea what you're facing. So you know what you're kind of up against and you can do the maths. And if you could have a good idea what they're going to play, right? You can always have a guess that one of their plays will be whatever, right? With Arishem, it's completely different. And I just love it, right? Because you don't know what they've got. They've got 12 extra cards, right? You can have a rough idea of what type of deck they started with, but you don't know what's in the new cards. So yeah, I think this card's fun. Freshens up Snap for a little bit, and if you're on the fence about getting it, just get it. It's just, even if they do try and nerf it down the line, I just don't know how. I feel like this is in the same boat as Loki, where, like, look at Loki, everyone wanted Loki's energy reduction removed, right? And all this stuff. But they didn't do it because it's a different type of card, right? They stuck to their guns, didn't nerf the Loki energy reduction and stuff like this. So I just don't see, like, maybe the card loses some power, but you don't play the card, right? I just don't see the effect getting changed too much. Maybe they add a couple of extra cards to make it suck a little more, to actually draw in your own cards, or make you start the game with Arishem in your hand, so it's slower and worse. But honestly, I just don't see a way of them nerfing it and killing the card right now. Anyway, that's no problem. Let's look at the decks. So deck number 1 is a Pixie deck. Like I said, all these have won Infinite Conquest, so they're worth giving a go in Conquest, Gold, Infinite, whatever. You just want to try, and the decks that are Arishem have performed well against Arishem. So first up, we got this Pixie deck. Junk stuff. Honestly, it's a junk package that's really annoying. It's the decks that I've kind of been struggling with Arishem, because I've not had like my move cards in there or my Cersei to deal with it. And then if you don't get the low key, it's hard to junk them back, especially if you don't get the low key and you don't get the Annihilus. It can be a bit annoying, and it can lock down cards, because with Arishem you've got the extra energy so you can play more cards, and it's just, you gotta be super careful about clogging up. Next up, High Evo. Yeah. High Evo's always been good into Loki stuff, right? And Arishem's running some Loki stuff. And then this is just, again, lowering the power. You've got the Rogue for the big stuff. You could have Shang-Chi in here if you wanted, I guess. Armor to protect your cards. You're not weak against like the Darkhawk stuff that's out there. Rogue, you can steal Blob and get Blob and get the effect from Blob if you want to. Moon Girl for some more She-Hulks and Hulks and Abominations. You can compete with this deck. Next up is a Destroy deck. I found this look kind of interesting. It's a Deadpool, Lady Deathstrike type stuff, right? This is to slow them down with the tempo, right? You kind of just want to try and destroy, like, you got Lady Deathstrike, you're gonna do your own thing, you get big, try and destroy everything as quickly as you can, right? Then you get a big Venom, and you can Grandmaster it over if you want to. You can Grandmaster the Shang-Chi's over, Lady Deathstrike. It just gives you some flexibility with its Grandmaster, being able to double down on a lot of stuff. And then you've got death. Pretty straightforward destroy deck, but it's pretty nice. And again, like I said, with the junk stuff, this is a really annoying deck. I've lost to this deck twice in Conquest because honestly, I was playing the matchup awkward, but at the same time, it's so hard because if you put 2 cards in a lane, because I wasn't having move cards in my Arishem decks, or I wasn't drawing the move cards either way, you're in so much trouble of getting clogged, right? Titania into Green Goblin clogs you. White Widow, Titania clogs you. White Widow in a lane, Debris in another lane. It's so easy to clog you, and then you've got Dr. Octopus and stuff like that. And then they've got the Dark Hawk if they need the power. It's so awkward. I'm going to probably do a video on this deck because I struggled with it with Arishem, and I feel like showing it. I think that's it for the, yeah. So now we're on to the Arishem decks for those that care. So, Arishem with High Evo. It's the same as I said down there, right? High Evo already kind of performs kind of well into Arishem, so why not combine them both up, get the extra energy, abuse it with the High Evo cards, and you've got, instead of She-Hulk, you've got Hulk for more power across the board. Storm to storm some lanes, you know. Sorry, my throat. Oh god. Yeah, so High Evo stuff. Next up, the standard Loki package. This is kind of where most people went to. Probably one of the better packages, right? You generate cards in your Loki. You can't go wrong. Mockingbird, Blob, 2 fantastic cards in Arishem. Probably the 2 core cards, I would imagine. These 2. Especially Mockingbird's definitely core. Blob's very close, if not core. And then you've got like other cards that are great, like Quinjet, Loki, fantastic. Dark Hawk, great right now because there's a lot of mirrors, right? I think I seen a post the other day that in Infinite it was 75% popularity for Arishem or something. It's wild. Next up we have, this was this interesting one. I don't understand what the War Machine was in here for. But yeah, it hit Infinite, so it won an Infinite Conquest. I don't really, like, the rest of it I can get a bit alright, the Absorbing Man and the Grandmaster stuff, but the War Machine, I just don't know what the War Machine was in here for. I'd probably take that out because I just don't see any reason for this card. Maybe the guy was facing a lot of lockdown type stuff, but I'd probably just take this out. The rest of it's fine, right? You've got the Cosmo, you can blob down early, you can blob on 5, right? And you can protect it with Cosmo if you wanted, right? You could go Absorbing Man into a lane and Cosmo the blob, right? You've got armor to protect yourself. You got Shang-Chi's and that. Like I said, everything else is fine. Just the War Machine doesn't make any sense to me. That's the only issue I got with that deck. Next up, this is my deck. I've not actually won an Infinite Conquest with this. It's the only one in here that hasn't won one. But I've won 2 gold and I'm on game 4 of Infinite Conquest. I just haven't had time to finish it. So I'm currently on like an 8-win streak in Conquest with it. So I wanted to share it. Kind of got a little bit of everything. I really do wish I could fit a 2 in here, but I couldn't get a 2 in here. It's got Negasonic, of course, NTW, because, you know, it's great with Shang-Chi. I just love that. You got a card gen in Coulson, because there's a couple of times he kind of drawn a little dead. I was upset. Nocturne, because I wanted a move card. As I said, I was struggling with junk stuff. Loki, for when it goes bad. Leech is just kind of a great card. You put it on down on 4, especially when you've got, like, Cersei in the deck. I did have Blink at one point to try and blink into one of these 2, but yeah. Or Arishem even. But yeah, Cersei on the Leech is fine. Leech also, like, you Leech on 4 means you can get away with a blob on 5, right? Or a Dark Hawk if you're in a mirror match. Mockingbird blob, great. Magneto's great for clogging a lane. You do some clogging of your own. Fantastic deck. I love it. Next up, we have, this is an interesting one. This is you've got some card gen in here. You've got Absorbing Man for blob stuff. Sarah to help you cheat out because you've got to add a Warlock to get some draws. You got Blink Cersei in here. It's very similar to my deck, right? Like this 5 is the same as mine. So it's kind of leading into some card gen with Sarah for some more energy chi. Absorbing Man's a very interesting one because you kind of try and hit blob, right? Blink is great. Like, you can blink, absorb him and blink, right? And then you get blobs and stuff like that. Okay, it's very interesting. And then the last deck is just like another Loki deck, right? It's kind of just teched out Loki. And Baku in here. This, yeah, I've got this one because I'm in Baku, right? Baku's just fine, right? You're always going to see in Baku unless your board's full. You're either going to draw it or it's going to jump out your deck. It's kind of teched up a little bit more. So you've got Enchantress, you've got Rogue, you've got Shang-Chi, right? Free with Valentina, great. You can Valentina on 1, and then you can play the 6-drop on what, turn 2, right? Because no, turn 3, and then you've got no extra 6. You've got Coulson, you got Enchantress to deal with Darkhawk if you want to, Legion for some control on the lane, and then Elia for a big cloud play. Anyways, that's enough rambling. I've been going on a bit too long. Let me know what decks you're running in Infinite Conquest, and if you've had tried any of these or had success, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Peace.